Good afternoon. I'm Andres, and this is your news update. On May 18, 2026, a shooting at the Islamic Center San Diego left three members of the community dead. Authorities identified the victims as security guard Amin Abdullah, store owner Mansour Kazika, and community member Nadir Awad. The two teenage subjects were later found dead by self-inflicted wounds such from gunshots, and investigators also determined that it was a hate crime and also a hate that was based on extremist beliefs. Today, we're going to interview members of the community and their thoughts and feelings and how they were affected by it. Hello, my name is Andres Salazar. I'm here with MSA's president, Daniel Yib. And so today, we're just going to ask you a couple questions. Obviously, I think you've heard about the Islamic Center shooting.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple, I think 2 weeks ago, about now.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to get the community's thoughts about it. So I just want to ask you, what was your initial reaction when you first heard about the shooting?
My initial reaction was like, I was shocked, because like, honestly, like, it was like so close to us, and the fact that like, it's like right here, it's happening in San Diego, and something like that hateful like happening in like our community just like was shocking. I was honestly like sad because I remember I went to the mosque one time, and I went with Hamza, like who's a student with here, and we bought stuff at the mosque, and yeah, it didn't feel real, but again, it made me feel more grateful,
Yeah, of course. And then, second question is, how do you think that communities can come together after something tragic like this has happened?
I think that like something that we did like right here, like with our school, like having an event where like you give words of, like advice to like the little kids, like comfort them a little bit, and also just like, spreading love, like understanding like how to like love other people, and like because like hatred is like very strong, like something like killing someone, like that's very strong, but you should just like love someone, like never hate someone.
Of course. And our last question is kind of like we were talking about what MSA did. Can you go more into depth about that? Because the last question is actually how do you think schools can help promote and respect among different people from different backgrounds?
So like, like having like other like affinity clubs, like like how we have a BSU, APIA, MSA, Lagoria Latina, like having like those clubs where people like are exposed to like the different cultures, like with the multicultural festival, like we understand like how different cultures like work with each other, and just having like that cool bond, like where you understand like even though like you're not a part of it, like you understand like the other good aspects of a culture, because like in that culture, like you were like not everyone chooses to be Mexican or Asian, like you just have to like vibe with it.
Yeah. And then not really just a question, just kind of your thoughts. Do you think that sports really brings unity in the community, especially when people come from different backgrounds?
Yeah, like honestly, like especially because our school's so small, like we all know each other. Like it's only like 120 students per class, and the fact that like you're growing with them for like almost 6 years, like that's just very strong. Like you build that strong connection, and like you could literally like just talk to anyone you want. Voice does like a really good job, like again, like with all the clubs, and yeah.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you, man.
Hi, my name is Yana Fonta Halamariam, and next we're going to be interviewing Ms. Zamora. Our first question was, what was your thought when you first heard about what happened at the Islamic Center?
My first thought was, obviously, like everyone else in the community, it was sadness and shock at first, and then I think it turned into a bunch of other emotions. But initially, yes, I was very shocked, just like everyone else was, I think.
What lesson do you want students and people who saw this to take from this event?
I think the main message that I want to share with, like, starting with myself in my classes is, I think community compassion and empathy. That was like one of the biggest ones, that no matter who is affected in our community, we're like united and in solidarity with each other. So no matter whose community a tragedy happens in, as a community, I think it's important to all be there for each other during difficult times. So I think that's the biggest message.
What do you think that this event, like, what do you think it symbolizes, and this happening to such a specific community, like, what do you think it shows about the world we live in right now?
Oh, well, specifically, I think it's a wake up call for everybody. I think to show kindness, no matter who you're around or who you may encounter, because you never know what your words or your actions may how they can be interpreted by somebody else. So it's always important to be kind in our community. Obviously, it impacted our community a little bit harder because a lot of us knew the people that were involved. Many of our students, and me personally, I knew 2 of the people. So even though it was, it hit hard, close to home for many of our Muslim students, I think it also was felt by many different people. Anybody that lived in San Diego was affected by this. So it wasn't just the Muslim students. I think it affected students in general, teachers in general, anyone that lived anywhere like near the event of the tragedy. And I think because we all know someone at Proyes that is Muslim or lives near the area, I think it affected our community specifically, but it also gave us an opportunity to come together and show solidarity to other community members, because I won't go really deep into the causes of this, but if we were to research, the main ingredient was hate. And so I think the biggest message we can learn from this is, be compassionate, be empathetic toward everybody, not just Muslims and not just people from your community, but everybody in your community.
Thank you.
Thank you once again. My name is Andres, and I'm signing out from PNA.